Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of Just a Solo Pod with me, Ted, your host, your only host, and that's for today, of course. We know what I'm all here for. I don't even have to do none of the gimmicks. I don't gotta come here talk about today's sponsor is none of that, none of that. Yesterday there was a blockbuster trade. Carl Anthony Towns ends up in New York for Julius Randle, Dante DiVincenzo, and I believe a first rounder from Detroit. There might be other pieces in the trade that I don't know about yet, but these are just some of my initial thoughts the day after. The first thing is really the Wolves spacing is a lot more questionable than what it was before this trade. Of course, Cat is possibly the best big man shooter in the league right now. I don't think it's really much of an argument. I think he is. So adding somebody like Julius Randle, who I'm not saying he's a bad 3 point shooter or like a bad shooter in general, he has less of a catch and shoot capability to me. Like I don't see him being able to space the floor out with somebody like Ant isolating, or even like let's say he's on the game in the game with Rob or something. I don't see him really spacing the game out for Rob, or even like really coexisting with them that well. But I'll talk about the coexisting later. Especially with someone like Rudy Gobert in the paint, I don't know how he has the space to do what he wants to do on the court. He's a great playmaker, though. I can give Randall that. He's a great playmaker to have next to somebody like Ant. So his playmaking is definitely going to help that team a lot. That is something that Karl Anthony Towns is not the best with. Even though during the playoffs, the Cat and Rudy pick and roll was fucking crazy. Like I remember that. But overall, he's not really as much of a playmaker as Julius Randle is. Still, when it comes to spacing, I think they're gonna end up having a lot of lineups where it's no Rudy. They're gonna have Randall and Nas playing together more so than Randall and Rudy because that just gives you more spacing, better spacing in general. Nas is a 10 times better shooter scorer on every level than Rudy Gobert is, so of course you're gonna want that of this team. The next thing is the cap situation for the Knicks. They just picked up a supermax contract for 4 years, so I don't know how they're gonna move on from it after if it doesn't work out. I don't know how they're gonna like build off this team if this isn't a ring year. If they don't want to ring like the next 2 years, I don't know what they do cap space wise. But I will say I like the trade for them. I really do. I like the fact that they're moving in a direction where like we need a big. Randall as a big is a huge question mark. We've never seen him play the five, and as a four, he's way more ball in the hand. He plays from the outside in. He's more so built mid-range shooter, dribbles around, tries to get his way. And I'm not saying Cat is any better on the interior. I'm saying he has more of an interior presence. He has 7 years being a big man. He's more used to banging down in the paint, pause, and he's more used to just being a center overall. He's never had a time where he's not a center except for when they got Rudy. So they got what they needed. They needed a center. Mitchell Robinson's a huge question mark. They're gonna have somebody like Precious Achuya who's like 6'8". They need to have some height in the paint, which is what they got. They needed it. Randall, he didn't really feel what the team was doing. I had the feeling that he was going to get traded ever since they got OG and McCall back because they didn't get Hartenstein back. No big man. It was just a huge question mark at the time. And then there's another question: is Cat too soft for New York? And I know it's probably it's not really like an on court question, but it's a big thing because we saw what Randall went through in New York. That 1 year in the playoffs when they lost in the second round, they was scratching off his pictures. You know what I'm saying? Burning his jerseys, calling him the worst player in the league. Is Cat able to handle if he's having a bad month and the fans is calling for his head the way Randall was? Because I didn't see Randall out there really like. I'm not saying Randall was like the best with his attitude, but I'm saying he wasn't in this bitch just like yelling at the fans or like talking crazy about the fans as much as I remember. There might be some times. His first year he might have talked crazy. But like recently, I haven't really seen him on that type of timing for real. So I don't think Cat is like prepared to deal with the scrutiny and the level of media that's going to be in his eyes when it comes to being in New York. I'm not hoping that he's bad. I'm not hoping that it goes wrong. I just don't see how it works out for him in that way. Because knowing how Cat is, based off of what I've seen from him, like based off of the history of Karl Anthony Towns, he's never really came off as like this strong man or like this dog or nothing like that. He's not. He doesn't have that dog getting to me. He's a great basketball player, an amazing basketball player. He's a hooper, but he don't got that dog. And New York really loves players who got that dog. So shit, is he even built for the? Is he built for the market? And will the Timberwolves start Nas Reed? And I'm not saying you go bench Rudy Gobert. I'm not saying even trade Rudy Gobert. I got this message in one of my videos on TikTok. I'm gonna look it up right now for y'all, so I can see it word for word, because it was kind of an interesting question. I'm gonna be real. It was very interesting to see, because I wasn't expecting anybody to really say this, but he said rotating Nas and Jaden McDaniels would help them a lot spacing wise. So that's like saying Nas Reed and Jaden McDaniels are rotating, having Julius Randle play the three, having Nas at the four, and Gobert at the five. And I understand why people might not like that. They might think, oh, that's too clunky, too much size. Randle's not a three. Randle can play the three, though, in my opinion. Can he guard threes? Different question. But he can definitely offensively play the three position. And we saw something like that with the Cavs in 2022 when they had Lauri Markkanen playing the three. That's what rejuvenated his career. Right now, he still plays the three occasionally. So we can see Randle on that side, and it might show a different side of him when it comes to the offensive side of the ball. So I don't really have a problem with Nas Reed starting. I just really like Jaden McDaniels' game. I think he should be their starter. The way that he can defend, the way that he can play defense, just stay in the way of the offense, just stop anybody. I saw him in the playoffs stop anybody. Only person that he really could was really struggling against was Luka Doncic, but that's fucking Luka. And yeah, I don't really like the fact that he's getting benched in this situation, but it might have to happen. It really might have to happen, because I don't know who posted this, but somebody posted the Minnesota Timberwolves potential starting lineup, and it says Mike Conley and Jaden McDaniels, Randle, and Gobert. And just looking at that, like I said earlier, the spacing is ah, like, yeah, Ant is a decent 3 point shooter. I wouldn't want to put that at his forefront of this game. Mike Conley, his main offensive stuff is shooting threes. Jaden McDaniels is improving on three. Rudy Gobert is a nothing on offense, in my opinion. All he can do is catch lobs. And Julius Randle is a decent 3 point shooter. So they have nothing that's really like deadly over there except for possibly Mike Conley. They got DiVincenzo, but I don't know how you can fit DiVincenzo into this lineup. That makes sense. He has to come off the bench. They have Rob Dillingham. I haven't seen him shooting at NBA level yet, so I can't really call him a good shooter. And they have Nas Reed, who is a good big man shooter in the league. I could possibly hear somebody calling him like a top 5 to 10 big man shooter. So I could understand why someone would say that they're going to rotate Jaden McDaniels and Nas Reed, but start Nas Reed at the four, have Randle at the three. I don't think they'll do that, and I don't think they should do that, because the defensive pressure that Jaden McDaniels brings is very valuable to the team. Another thing is, can Ant and Randle coexist? Two ball dominant players. Ant really needs the ball in his hands to show anything off. He showed he can play off ball a little bit in the Olympics, but he was really just like the bench ball handler for a lot of time. And Randle, he's the best when the ball's in his hands. Like, there was a reason. Like, there was a time where a lot of people in like Knicks media, Knicks culture, Knicks fans didn't really like when Randle and Brunson were on the court together, because it felt like they kind of took away from each other. Like, Randle would get the ball ISO on the block while Brunson is just standing at the three, and that's obviously not ideal for him. Even though he's played that role with Luka before, you don't want a player of Brunson's caliber really just standing in the corner, standing at the wing, waiting for the ball. And it's the same thing from Randle. You don't want Randle just standing at the block while Brunson does an ISO, or like Brunson takes over or asks for a screen from somebody else who's more of a lob threat. I'd rather just have a thing where they coexist better, but I don't know how they would. And it's the same thing I feel for Ant and Randle. I don't know how they coexist. I can't see how they both like get to the highest level playing together when they're both as ball dominant as they are, and they're both as damn near non-existent off ball. Like, Ant's not good off ball. Julius Randle's not good off ball. I just don't see how that works. I wish I could, because I really do fuck with them both skill wise. I really like Randle as a skill player. He's one of the more skilled bigs in the league. He dead ass kind of moves like a guard with the ball, and he's amazing downhill. And he's one of my favorite players in the league. He's a top 10 player to me. I really do love watching him play, but I don't know if he reaches his apex next to somebody like Julius Randle. But I like the steps that they're making. They're trying to avoid second apron. Shout out to CJ McCollum for ruining mid teams for no reason. He's literally he's ruining mid market teams because the Warriors traumatized them. But shout out to CJ McCollum. Give me a sec. I like the direction they're going in, because it just tells me that they understand what the second apron is going to do to them. They're avoiding having to deal with that by trading Cat. Randall's on the last year of his contract, and I believe Rudy Gobert is coming up on his last years. I don't know if they re-sign Rudy, and if they do, I hope they don't give him like a 4-year deal. Give him a 2-year player option. Keep him on short-term deals because he's really not a player that I see being in the league for another like 5, 6. Not even like 4. I see him out the league in the next 3 years, genuinely, because his defensive impact is going to start declining throughout the years. And Randle, I don't see him demanding that much money in the offseason to a point where it's like, oh, we can't re-sign him. I don't think they have to give him a max. They gave Cat a super max because he's their most loyal player. And that's something I got to touch on as well. 2 of the team's most loyal players got traded without a word, without understanding. They were completely blindsided. That's what every report is saying. Every report is saying that both of them were blindsided. And I have to say this. Loyalty in the NBA is fake. It's not real. Don't believe it. Whenever a player leaves a team, tell them, you know what? Good job. Chase your bag. Because the owners, the fucking GMs, they don't give a fuck about you, bro. They will get you gone. Think about what a few days ago, Randle built a court in fucking New York. It don't matter. Cat has raised so much money for foundations in Minnesota. It don't matter. You got to understand these fucking owners, they don't care about you, bro. Without Cat, they don't make it to this point. But it don't matter. Without Randle, the Knicks would still be in the dirt. It don't matter. They don't give a fuck. They seen opportunity and they took it and they ripped their hearts out. You saw Cat tweet ... on Instagram, and a few weeks ago, Randle was crashing out talking about some, oh, we'll see, and talking about the Knicks and stuff. He had to delete it off his story. But like, they obviously really cared about where they were playing at and what they were doing for the cities. The owners, the GMs, the people higher up don't give a fuck about you. Realize that. Understand that as a fan, you can't go around here hating on players who chase their bag and are more individualistic than like team centered. Because bro, Cat was there for 10 years. He got blindsided by a trade. He was at the fucking facility. They just posted a video of him a day ago, and then he gets traded out the blue. And they knew they was gonna trade him. They was literally in talks for weeks, and they still posted him on the media. That's fucking crazy, bro. The Knicks was searching for trades for Julius Randle every single day. They was hitting up the Pistons. They was hitting up the Hawks. Like, bro, don't let this loyalty shit fuck up your bag. I'm gonna keep telling players that. I was disappointed in I understand people showing love to Jalen Brunson for taking a smaller contract to build his team, but I was disappointed because, bro, give it 2 years. If y'all don't win, they're gonna trade you, bro. If y'all don't win and they think you're the problem, they're gonna trade you. That's what they did with Randle. They traded him, and I'm not saying it was wrong to trade him, but I'm saying think about the way they traded him. Think about what they did to him. He was blindsided by the trade. In their own words, every report is telling me that Randle and Cat were blindsided. They did not know this trade was going to happen. And those are the 2 longest tenured players, bro. Randle's been there since how long? 2018? 2017? And, bro, Cat's been there since he was drafted. He's modified his game for Minnesota. He's ignored so many trade rumors. Showed none but love for Minnesota, bro. Always been there for Minnesota. Blew kisses to the crowd, even though it was corny. He loved Minnesota, bro. He loved being there. Now he's in New York. And I'm not saying moving to New York or like Minnesota's like a downgrade or New York's a downgrade. I'm saying that this is a change that they never thought would happen because of the amount of loyalty that they displayed. But they got to realize you can't be naive. The NBA is a business. They're going to smoke you out whenever, bro. They don't give a fuck about you. The owner probably said, thank you for your service, Cat. I can't wait to see you in the jersey next season. And the next day on the phone with the Knicks, like, yo, Julius Randle, Cat, y'all got to give us DiVincenzo and a pick. It's a deal. I promise you you'll go get Cat. Y'all need a big, we got Cat. Bet. And Cat's just in the facility hooping. He's getting ready for next year. You talking to Ant, talking about some, yeah, bro, you know what I mean? Next season, we about to go on a run. We made it to the conference finals. It don't matter no more. You got to make it to the conference finals with a different team. But in my opinion, I think the Knicks won the trade. I think they won it. Even though they gave up somebody like Dante. Dante is a big pivotal piece. Apparently, he didn't want to be on the Knicks with a smaller role, which I can understand. If I was him, I want to start. If I'm him, I'm starting. But he can't start in the Timberwolves either. They're going to have to trade him again. But if I'm him, I'm starting 100%. Especially after that playoff run. Stop playing with me. Put me in the fucking starting lineup, bro. Bench McCall or some shit. Bench Josh Hart. You can't bench me. Fuck out of here. That's my ideology if I'm him. Simple. But yeah, yo. That's all I really had to say about the trade. There's not really much else. Leave comments about how y'all feel about it, how y'all feel about the NBA system being a business, anything like that. Whatever y'all want to talk to me about, talk to me about it. I'll see y'all next time. The next pod is coming up tomorrow. It's just taking a long time to upload right now. All love to y'all. Peace.